David Blanchflower is an economics professor at Dartmouth College. He's also a former member of the Bank of England's Monetary Policy Committee. He's also a Bloomberg contributing editor. David, when Saturday Night Live is opening their show with a spoof on the European debt crisis, I mean, it says something about how long we've been talking about this and how it's really trickled down to Main Street. I mean, why is this once again at the point of crisis?
Well, it's got to a crisis. I mean, in some sense, it's become a laughing stock because the Europeans 18 months or so ago didn't have the courage or the ability to stop this thing, and so it was inevitably going to keep going, and now they've become the subject of comedy, and that's really where we are. And all we've seen is denial, 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 and every week the markets become less and less happy about what they're seeing, and another country comes into the crosshairs. I think it's very sad, but it's indicative of what we've been saying. They look like a bunch of incompetents over there. This crisis needed to be stopped. There's no way right now that it's going to just finish in a nice, easy way. This is headed to disaster, and there's not much anyone can do about it.
Well, we do know that leadership in Greece is meaning yet another austerity package. This will be the fifth since they took 110 billion euros. Is there a way that Papandreou can restore some degree of confidence?
Well, I don't think so. I mean, the problem with the first five was that they didn't really work. You didn't solve the long-run problems that were there, and growth was compromised. I think the big issue is not even so much the size of the cuts. It's the speed at which these countries are supposed to implement them. They're completely impossible. So you say, oh, the cuts haven't worked. This has compromised growth. So the way to solve this is to cut by more. I mean, that is laughable. And Saturday Night Live are right to poke fun at it. It's not going to work.
Are we going to see Italy's credit rating lowered? I mean, are we at the point of contagion?
Well, I think we've reached the point of contagion. I mean, you and I have been talking about this for a month or so. And what happened today? We saw the elections in Spain. We saw problems there. We've seen issues now in Italy. This thing is spreading. And in the UK today, we saw reports of what was called Project Merlin about lending to small firms. Well, they're not lending to small firms. And one wag called it not a Merlin project, a Mickey Mouse project. I mean, these economic policies are actually becoming quite laughable because they're not working. They're compromising growth. And they're not working in the way that these governments intended, and they need a plan B, and they keep punching the same plan A that doesn't work. Why do they think it's going to work now? It's not working.
Well, when we look at even the backlash in Spain there, you know, the political spanking leadership got for rolling out some of these austerity programs, it emphasizes the degree to which politics is going to become a problem that might jeopardize some of these bailouts, right? I mean, is Christine Lagarde the right person to be running the IMF who can sit down and lay out with, you know, the political heft, you guys got to do this, and this is your path towards stepping away from the crisis?
Well, it sounds like once again what you have are the political bloc, the Germans, the French and the British, who say you've got to do austerity. We're going to go to the IMF and tell you, you folks have got to carry on this way. And if you're sitting in these other countries, you're sitting in the less developed world, you're sitting in Brazil and in Thailand and so on, are you going to say, well, actually, all the stuff that you've been saying hasn't worked? So maybe there is a consensus in Western Europe and among the countries are doing fine. But it doesn't look like she's going to have a great political consensus around the rest of the world. You
think Osborne should have backed your boy, Gordon Brown?
Well, I think it's just a sign of their weakness. I mean, a sign of weakness that you can't take someone from your own country. Great weakness. They're worried about their own policies.
David.
Not my boy.
Last time you were on, you said that you thought Osborne might pick him. So I was just having a little fun with you.
I know you were having a little fun. I mean, Osborne has backed off, but you know, we'll see. This isn't over yet because the crisis is rolling, and the French are deep in the middle of it, and they haven't done that well either, and Lagarde hasn't done that well.
All right. Well, we got to leave it there.